Hey,
And
see, I know you're Italian.
yeah, but I don't usually have a beard. I've only grown it the past couple of months. Usually I have a mustache only.
Oh, I see.
And then I
Why?
saw yours and I said, look, this guy's got the same as me.
Well, I like. Okay, you know what? We're gonna start recording. Are you good to go?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, perfect. I don't really have a theme song yet, so I'm just like I don't know. You're on camera with Brian. Hey.
That's good.
Once the budget gets a little better, maybe we'll get some singers,
Oh, for
some
then
backup
you know
vocals,
what? You'll look back on this and you'll go, wow, look at that. Look how he started. Now I got a theme
right?
song.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Thinking of back when we started, what was your first influence? Well, actually, before we start, what's your stage name? Let's have get
Well,
the people.
my name is Leny Corrado, right? But when I started doing comedy in 2006, I to make people easier, because Lenny's easy, but the last name, people always have trouble with your last name. So I said I'm a butcher. So they would say, okay, Leny the Butcher. So that's what I became. I became known as Leny the Butcher. So when people ask Lenny, say who? Lenny the Butcher? Yeah. So they know me, right? So that
That
worked for a while.
that's amazing. An
And
Italian
it
guy named
stuck.
Lenny the Butcher. Well,
Yeah.
what's the chances?
Yeah, and it stuck. It stuck. So on Instagram, I'm Lenny the Butcher. So
Awesome. So, Lenny, first of all, thank you for taking time with me. I like to do interviews as if meeting you for the very first time. You know
yeah,
what I mean? Because I want everybody to kind of get a sense of who Lenny the Butcher really is.
yeah.
So, what I want to ask you is probably who was one of your first influences? Like, what made you want to do comedy, stand up comedy?
Uh, well, there was a lot of. See, I didn't have any one influence. I just loved comedy in general, like Robin Williams, Richard Pryor. Back then, all the older comics. I'm old. Like I started comedy late. I started in 2006. I was 45 when I started.
Wow.
So I started really late. Like there are comics that are 45 now and they've already been a comic for like 20. You know what I mean? Like
Oh
I
yeah.
started. I had kids that were small. I had my own business, my own butcher shop. I couldn't get out very often. So I just figured, I started off doing Second City. I tried to do improv, but in improv, you need people with you, right?
Of course.
So I
Yeah.
figured, you know what? I'll just go out on my own, try stand up, and so that's how I ended up doing it on my own, and like years ago. So so my influences, like I said, there is no one like. And then I like watching. I like Seinfeld's, views on life. What's the deal with that kind of stuff. I like observational stuff
Yeah.
a lot.
Do you do,
So
do you do the same kind of comedy that you like, or are you different what you give versus what you like? Like,
well, in the beginning, I did mostly stuff related to what I like, being a butcher and stuff like that, right? But
yeah,
as the years go by, I do pick up on things that happen in real life, and I try and it's not, everything's been done basically. Like that in
yeah,
comedy, pretty much everything's been
comedy,
done.
movies, anything entertainment is just
Yeah.
a revamp of whatever's been done.
So mine is based on, like I said, my family, my being a butcher, growing up Italian in an Italian household, and just observations, like things I see during the day.
Yeah, and here's the thing: when I say things like not everything is what it's been done, not everything's a remake, but like I will think of a joke on my own, and then I'll tell it, and someone says, "Oh yeah, I heard someone else say something kind of like
Yeah,
that." Do
yeah.
you know what I mean?
Just well, we all think alike doesn't mean that. Like for example, I'm Italian, you're Portuguese, right?
Correct. Yeah.
A lot of things Italian comics talk about that I also talk about. It doesn't mean they thought of it first. We all lived it, but we have our own
Yeah.
experience in that. So it's not like we're doing the same material. We're doing it in my life. This is how it was in my life,
How
and
it
that's how it
relates.
was.
It's relatable. It's relatable,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
It's just so the comic for me, what makes the comic funny is the way they deliver the
Oh
way
yeah.
that they deliver the story. Not always about the subject matter, but
Hmm.
how they're telling the story.
Yes.
It's the
And
character that we like.
in my style, basically, once you see me, is I'm like high energy. So usually it works well with everybody because people are, especially in the weed rooms, they're half asleep. You
Oh
wake them up.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know.
Have you done any weed rooms? Have you done
Yeah,
many?
I've done a few of them. I used to do one in Toronto on Lakeshore called Vape on the Lake, but they closed it down. But I
Cool.
did one the other day, um, in Toronto, and I there was like maybe 50 people, and the room was smoky and everything, but they were laughing. They loved it. They asked me back actually. They asked me to go back at the end of next month to headline it.
That's
So
awesome. There's
yeah,
a
they,
couple
they
there's
like
a
me
couple
enough.
places. Were you in?
Pardon?
It was a cannabis store that you were at, or no?
It was a store. It was called something World. I don't have it on.
Oh, yeah.
It's on the Danforth.
You know what?
For
I
some
think I seen you
reason,
there. It's called Growers World.
yes, that's the one I was on.
Growers World, right on the
That's your
corner.
friend. Your friend was there. That guy that
Jared Nathan
not
and
Jared
Chris.
Nathan, but Chris was on.
Yeah, yeah. And
Chris
Chris was there
Seeley. No,
too. And Chris Kev.
Dave Seeley.
Dave Seeley. Yes, Dave Seeley was there. Yes, yes, yes.
He was there that night too. He did
Yeah.
well. We were on the same show.
Okay, you know what? Yes, and you know what? I might have stopped in for a little bit too, and I think I seen you. You were up because you were doing your set when I came in, and then I was only there for a little bit because
Oh, you were there.
yeah,
That's
because
good.
Jared was there. Do you remember Jared Nathan?
Yeah, Jared Nathan, but he wasn't there that night when
He
I was
wasn't
on.
there that night. Okay, so
No,
maybe
the headliner was Monty Scott.
Okay, very nice.
But
Yeah,
they do
very
that.
nice. Yeah, no, they're good people at Growers World. They're great people. Great
Oh
people
yeah.
there. Yeah. For all your cannabis needs, Growers World in Toronto. Hey, hey.
Yes.
And they
Right.
put on comedy shows. I don't know if it's a weekly thing. I think
It's weekly. Every Thursday, every Friday night. For I don't know how long they've been doing it, but it's
yeah.
every Friday night.
Yeah. I remember I went there with Mike Rita. I don't know if
Oh
you've
yeah,
heard.
the king of the Portuguese comics. I know him I know Mike. I've known Mike since he started out when he was 18. He's a very good friend. He's such a nice guy.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's a really good guy. The show that they have now, the Portuguese Problems, the new show
Yes.
that's coming. I was so excited to see that too. No,
Also Nathan Teixeira is another Portuguese. I know him very well too.
And he's from Cambridge. He's from our
Yeah.
area. Yeah, he's got his own show happening on Thursdays, or else I asked him. So this show that we're doing, Cabana, right?
Yeah.
It's the talent show. I wanted it to be. I've been talking about this for over a year. I talked to Tig Wright, to Nathan.
Yeah.
You know, I talked to all the guys in that area first, and you know, they're doing their own thing, obviously, but we didn't have really anything right there in that spot. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing.
It's a good night.
Yeah, Thursday's a great night. Like, they have their own things, but they're in like Hamilton. They're all over Waterloo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I wanted to do something a little bit different too. I wanted to have a mix of professionals and amateurs.
I'm coming down with the truck to Cambridge. We got picanha beef, ground beef burger, chorizo, specials, all kinds. Check out Go King Quality Meat on Instagram. All my prices are there. Text me, you guys, your orders.
You're from Cambridge. You must know. Do you know Aaron Rye?
I'm so good with faces. I'm bad with names.
He's a redhead. He's funny. He lives in Cambridge as well.
Okay, cool.
So
There's a lot of talent.
Right. I've done a few shows with Tig out in that area, Kitchener,
Tig,
Waterloo.
Tig's great.
Yeah,
Tig's hilarious. Tig's a good guy. I met him first at there was a special and my buddy Mike, and Mike was coming up, so Mike performed there, and that's how I met Tig, was through there, and I met Nathan there as well. So, but yeah, three hilarious guys. They're all really good performers, really good.
Oh yeah, for sure.
What's your favorite thing about doing stand-up? And what's your worst and what's your least favorite thing about doing stand-up?
Okay, my favorite thing is hanging around, like with the comics, like just the camaraderie. Because even when I don't have a show, like this past weekend, I had a show Friday, I had nothing Saturday. So I went downtown and I went to the Corner Comedy Club. I went to Yuck Yucks. I just hung out. I hung out in the alley with the comics. That's the way you to have fun. You have a laugh. You joke around with each other, break each other's balls a little bit. You know what I mean? That's my favorite part is hanging out, because I'm older and I feel young hanging around with all these young people. You know, it's amazing. and what I hate, really, there's not much to hate. I just hate when you go to a room, you know, and there's not many people there. That's I can't blame the producer. It just happens to be that way. People sometimes they don't go out. You know, you'll go to a show and there's like 5 people. I feel sorry for the producer, but it doesn't matter what show you go to. You got to give 100%. You got to do your set the way you would if there was full, right? I just don't like. I don't like. We never get hecklers or anything, but I don't like doing places where people don't show up to support, you know. And also, I don't like too much when the comics kind of leave after their set. If they have to go to another show, that's fine. But if they don't have to go to another show,
understandable. But to do their comedy and then go home and play video games, like stick
Yeah.
around for the other guys, and you know what I mean. It is a camaraderie, right?
Especially if the room is there's not much attendance, but there's a bunch of comics. If
Yeah.
they stick around, it looks like there's more people. You know,
Yeah, that's true. You need to. Nothing's worse than doing a show with like nobody there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that happens a lot. That happens a lot out there. I've seen it, in different places. And I don't know if it was like that before the pandemic or if it changed when
there's always been rooms, because there are rooms like bars and stuff that you don't charge anything, so they're not going to show up, right? If you charge something, then they show up. At least you know that they're coming to watch the comedy. You're not surprising them in the middle of they're eating dinner and you're joking around. They go, "Hey, what's this guy doing here? I want to eat dinner." You're imposing on them. But I always joke around that sometimes they tell you that public speaking is the hardest thing to do, and always they used to say, "Imagine people naked," right?
Yeah.
So I always say that when you're a comic, sometimes you just have to imagine people because there's nobody there.
You're hilarious.
There and pretend like you're doing a full audience. Just treat them like they're full, right?
Yeah. We exactly. You know what? It's funny you say that. I did a show with Timmy Boyle, and he's been doing it for a long time too. And we did 2 shows, but it was during a snowstorm, right? So the first show, because it was early, was packed, but the second show had very few people there.
Yeah.
But the energy of the second show, it matched the energy of the first show. It was insane.
Yes. Sometimes you're right. Sometimes you do a show and it's like you said, it's packed.
Yeah.
And then you do a show that's not so. And the second show, they're more into it than the other ones. They're more like they're more into the show. Maybe because it was a snowstorm and maybe they drank a bit more and they hung around and they smoked a little and they decided, what the hell? Let's just enjoy this evening, right?
Yeah. Well, and also I think it's sometimes the second show is a different crowd. Like it's a later crowd.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like I've seen shows back to back. Mike Rita, using him as an example again. He was recording at Palace,
the Paradise
in Toronto. Thank you. Paradise in Toronto. He did 2 shows, and the second show was insane, off the wall. It was just different people in the audience. There was even like a couple drunk girls. It was hilarious, and but it was a totally different energy. So because he's splicing both together, what a crazy video that's going to be. You know what I mean?
For sure. That's what they do.
The energy was totally different from one to the other. They're both good, but different energies. Same place within hours of each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And that's why when they do these tapings, they try to do 2 shows because they want to get the best of what they might get interrupted in the first one and then not in the second one. They might want to add something that they forgot and then they use it for the whole thing, right?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. What's the funnest gig you ever did, or the craziest gig you've ever done, or?
The craziest, not the craziest, but the first I've done the Nubian show in Toronto. That's Kenny Robinson's Nubian show. He does it once a month, the last Sunday of every month. It's very hard to get on that show, and so the first time I did it was in 2012. And I was very scared to go up there. I had 7 minutes, but I ended up doing pretty well. Yeah. And that was amazing because the room was full at Yuck Yucks downtown. There must have been about 300 people there. Wow. And it usually filled up. So that was the first time I really felt, the audience, their audience presence. And then I did a show recently at a place called Joker's Comedy Club in Hill. And Frank Spadone, our Italian killer comic, right? He did 5 shows there. And I was the middle for him for all 5 shows. And he sold out all 5.
Wow.
So, and it was basically fun because it was comedy, but it was like Italians there, like imagine like you might be in front of all Portuguese. So it was all our people were there and they were loving it. It was amazing. It's a
nice feeling because as a comedian, we're up there and we're receiving everyone's energy. We got to reflect it and then push it back and magnify it. You know what I mean? And a good comic has that room just whoa. So when you have your people or whatever, or you know what I mean? You when the audience is there because of you.
Exactly.
Huge difference.
Exactly. When the tickets were sold, they added 2 more shows because Frank Spadone has a large following. They had to add 2 more shows, so he knows that they came to see him, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And he gave awesome. All 5 shows were 100% amazing, right? And for me to be on that show was amazing because some of the people know me as well, but knowing that I'm on with Frank gives me some more credibility that I'm able to open for somebody like him, right? And I appreciate everything you did for me for those 5 shows. It was amazing.
Wow. So before we let you go, because you're a busy man,
Mm.
What do you want people to know about next week? You're going to come out next week, not this, the
Yeah,
14th.
I would have loved to come for your opening, but I have a show that night. But next week, well, if I'm on between 8 and 9, whatever, and I get this whatever time you give me, 10 minutes or so. I did 10 minutes at that weed room the other night. It was perfect. It was 10, 12 minutes. It's amazing, right?
Yeah.
You can get everything out. So then you'll see my energy, I guess, whatever. I'll surprise you, maybe. I mean, you'll
I'll
see.
put you somewhere in the middle. I'll put you somewhere in the middle to wake these fuckers up.
Yeah,
Let's
that's the way to do it.
go!
You're smart. You're smart. That's the way to do it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. This is my yeah. I'm so excited about this. What else you got to say?
no, not much, nothing else. Just was gonna say, I was nice hooking up with you through this. See how things happen. I go to one show, I meet that guy Dave, and then he puts it on. Then I saw you, and I connected with you, and now I'm coming to Cambridge. By the way, I work for Metro Grocers. I work in Milton. I'm a butcher in Milton, not far from Cambridge.
Right? You're not too far. You're like 25 minutes.
Yeah, that's right. Maybe I'll come right after work that night on Thursday. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. We're gonna have Goat King is gonna be there at opening night. He's gonna have a whole truckload of meat. It'd be awesome if you came.
I saw that guy. I saw that guy. He was telling me what kind of meats he brings, and I asked him if they have entraña. Entraña is your Portuguese. It's a piece that's inside the animal. Has one on each side. It's like a long strip, and there's meat inside. You put it in the barbecue. Yeah. And once it puffs up and cooks, you peel the skin off it. It's delicious. Just like picanha. Just like picanha is really good too.
Just like picanha.
Yeah.
That's
a little bit different. I would have liked to see him. Is he there every week? That guy?
No, he doesn't live in Cambridge. He's gonna come just like a special kind of thing. But he'll come up. He'll do like he'll once in a while, maybe once a month or whatever. He'll come up to Cambridge, right? Just based on orders, because he delivers everywhere.
Well, if I come next Thursday, and then I'm probably gonna have a good time there. You're doing this every week, so maybe I'll come up another week and just hang out and see,
Yeah, 100%. You know what?
Watch my friends.
The way that this contest works, if you're good, we ask you to come back. You know what I mean? And if you get asked to come back, then now you start sharing. We start to share a little bit of what the show does, because I want people who never really have a chance to be a part of something to feel what it's like, what it's like to do things like professionally. Like we have videographers coming opening night. They're gonna videotape everything. They're doing kind of a documentary on some of the comics. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like we're putting all these moving pieces together, and it's gonna be good.
That's good.
It's like a legit Oscars. I don't know.
Looking forward to coming down and hanging out with everybody there.
Yeah, it's gonna be so much fun.
I'll be in Cambridge on Thursday,
March 14th at Cabana's Got Talent. Oh, yeah. Where are you going to be this weekend? Where are you going to be Thursday?
Tomorrow night, I'm going to be at Yuck Yucks. I'm there every second week. I'm part of their Rising Stars show.
In Toronto? The Yuck Yucks in Toronto?
Yeah, downtown.
Wow, that's awesome.
So there's about 14 of us. We had to do a showcase, and we got chosen to go there every week and just practice every week until some of them got signed with Yuck Yucks after that. So we're on like a roster.
You're almost there. Yeah, you're like in the minor leagues right now.
That's right. So every second week we get to go on stage at a Yuck Yucks, and which is awesome. And then next week I'm going to be on at the Corner Comedy Club, which is downtown, right behind Yuck Yucks. Is a corner, an awesome small club, holds like 60 people. Amazing place.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm really glad to hear. Hey, if you get a chance, those two places are great to go to. I've been to both of those, and they're great. So thank you so much for spending time with me. And before we sign off, anything else you want to say?
No, just keep laughter is the best medicine. That's all I can say. Get out with this. You got nothing to do. Food and laughter, you can't go wrong.
No, you can't go wrong. Portuguese food and laughter, you can't go wrong. Oh, yeah, before we go, I want to tell you a joke. And this is the joke that I tell when I'm with my Italian friends. You ready?
Okay, go ahead.
So when you order, you know what an Italian guy is? An Italian guy. You know what he is?
What?
He is the result. If you order a Portuguese guy on Wish, you get an Italian guy.
Italians and Portuguese, we're like this. We're buddies.
Yeah, we're cousins.
except during the World Cup.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
let's not
we're
talk
okay.
about soccer. I like you. I don't want to, you know what I mean? Let's not, cement shoes all around. Let's go.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
work in cement. You're a butcher. It's not going to be clean.
Be careful. That's right.
Anyways, March 21st, Cabana Got Talent.
Yes.
The Butcher's going to be there.
I'll see you there.
All right. Thank you very much.
Have a good night.
You too.